Wholesale is still the most scalable Amazon business model there is, and I'll tell you why. If you're not familiar with the business model, I'll break it down for you. Basically, you open up an account with a wholesaler, a distributor, anyone that can supply you with goods. You open up that account and you request for their price list. They'll send you a price list. It's usually in an Excel spreadsheet. Now, sometimes there's only 2,000 products in there. Sometimes there's 50,000 products in there. Sometimes there could be 200,000 products in there. Most of them on average are around 10,000 products in there. You process their price list with a scanner. After you process it, you find the winning products that you can buy, and then you buy them, you send them to Amazon, they sell, you make money, then you rebuy again every single month, and you just keep scaling that business model. It's very scalable because a lot of times these suppliers might have hundreds or even thousands of units, and if you can find which products on Amazon sell in high volume and are profitable, you can make a lot of money this way. Let's compare Amazon Wholesale to these other business models. Online arbitrage, for example, you're buying products from retailers or online retailers and trying to resell them for a profit. Firstly, it's very hard because you're buying at retail value and not wholesale value. Yes, there might be some big discounts that you can apply to these, all these promo codes and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're only buying a few units of each SKU. It's very hard to buy more than 5 or 10 units of each SKU to sell it. So how are you going to scale big time when you can only buy 3 units or 10 units of every single SKU? Very, very hard. Where in wholesale, you can buy 100 or even 1,000 units of a SKU and send it in. Next is private label, a very well-known business model. Now, the issue with private label is that it's very saturated. Back in 2017, you could do private label so easily and make so much money. It was so easy back then, or 2016, 2017, 2018. Now, there's a lot of saturation. PPC is on a whole nother level. You have to spend so much money to generate traffic. You have to do all these different things. Such a huge upfront investment on a product that you don't even know will do well. And you also have to source the product, and most of the times from China, and there's all these issues with customs and all the Trump tax tariffs and all these types of things. It just makes it a very hard business model. And a lot of times people fail and they risk a lot of money and they have nothing to show for it. In wholesale, even if a product doesn't do well, you still have the products. You know that when you purchased it, there was some sales volume. So at worst case scenario, you might have a small loss on the product or a very big profit. So that's why I think it's better. Lastly is brand direct. Now I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to like, but I don't think brand direct is all that. I'll tell you why. Now, brand direct, you're doing both wholesale to find brands and ASINs that you can be selling, and you're doing private label techniques to bring more traffic to these products. Because the only reason why a brand will want to work directly with you is if you can bring more traffic to the listings. But if they don't restrict the listing from everyone else and allow only you to sell, then you're still going up against all the other wholesale sellers out there. And they can just come in and drop the price and all your work is for nothing. Because when you're doing brand direct, you have to create traffic and bring it to this listing. So you need to apply private label techniques. You need to know how to use Jungle Scout and Helium 10 and all the other tools that allow you to do private label. There's all these different tactics. You have to do PPC, you have to improve the listing quality, you have to do vines, a lot of different things to try to bring traffic to these listings. Whereas in wholesale, you don't have to do all those things. You just attach yourself to already well-selling products. What a lot of wholesale sellers have been doing wrong, in my opinion, is they've been targeting the fastest selling ASINs. Now, of course, if a product sells in high volume and has a great margin or ROI, it's a no-brainer. You're of course going to buy it. But a lot of times, the ones that sell in very high volume tend to have a lot of competition on them, and the price tends to drop very quickly, and you end up losing money. That's because they target the fastest 1% of movers. But there are so many other products that you could be sourcing and making money from, but they haven't had the right tool. Now with Astro Advanced Analytics, you can actually find these products much, much faster than ever before. And I'm going to do a live demo for you in this video. I'm going to show you how from one price list, we can come up with a nice purchase order in a short amount of time. Let's jump into it. Okay, so here's our price list. What we basically have is there is a category column, there is the item number, SKU number, whatever you want to call it. There's a barcode, basically the UPC, a description. This is EA, so the way it's being charged. So EA means each. Sometimes, for example, there's some here that are being charged by the dozen right there. And what else is there? So a dozen and each. So what we have to do there, we have to make a little adjustment very quickly to the price. So if it's charged by EA, that means the price is not going to be whatever the price says. It's going to be the price divided by 12. So we need to change that instantly so we can upload it. After that, we have the price and the case. So, or how many you have to buy just over there. So I'm going to really quickly just going to sort this by EA and DZ, EA and dozen. So I'm just going to remove the EAs. I'm going to go OK. And where our price is here, where it says price C, I'm just going to make it say equals this divided by 12. And I'm going to basically copy this across for all the ones that are a dozen. Great, right there. So now I applied that price right there, so we don't make a mistake later. So all our price is accommodated for. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this is our use price. And I'm going to remove the filters, go EA back again, see everything. And now what you will notice is that in a lot of these, in the use price, it's empty. So we need to copy the price there as well. So I'm going to go sort A to Z, just so everything's there nicely. Okay. And I'm going to go down to all the ones that are EA. I'm trying to copy the price again from basically all of that into there. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this and get ready to upload it. So we're uploading it into Astro. I'm just going to create a list for this supplier. I'm going to go ahead, add bulk upload, UPC list, throw that in there. I'm just going to match the columns now. So the column that we're going to use to find the products is the UPC column. So I'm just going to choose UPC over here, or barcode. The price is the one I named use. Then there's the item number that is in item number right there. Description would be the description. And I think that's all the data we need really. Do we need anything else? Let's see. Maybe we can add the case. So quantity right there, import. Now it's uploading. Okay, products are starting to come in. So basically what we see when we upload products to Astro, we get a full breakdown of all the products here. So we see the ASIN, we see the title of the ASIN, we see all the associated UPCs, and then all the supplier details that we added are also in here. Their item number, their description, then we have the case quantity that we had earlier, and their UPC from the supplier. So you can see if the supplier UPC matches the ASIN's UPC just there, and you can see if it's the right one. This one has 649, that ASIN matches that one right there. And you can start seeing everything very, very clearly now. Now let's go ahead and start doing a bit of analysis. There's a lot of data points that can go over, but mainly we got to find the profitable goods, find the ones that sell in high volume in this scenario. There's many different tactics you can use when using Astro, but we'll just go for the obvious products, the obvious choices, the ones that sell in high volume and the ones that are profitable. Now there are a lot of ASINs over here that have no buy box. There's either no one in the buy box. So you can see ones like this, there are 0 sellers, so no one has been selling this product. And there are some other ones here that no one's actually winning the buy box because the buy box is suppressed. So we want to see and detect if there's been a buy box in the recent history. So we're going to try to add a buy box to this. So I'm going to click on to add the 180-day average to only the ASINs that have no buy box at the moment. So I'm going to hit save, and now it's going to go through this entire list. We started off with a list of around 1,000 UPCs. If we go back to that list, you can see there are basically 1,000 products in here, 1,093, and we actually got 2,810 results from those 1,000 plus UPCs. We've got 2,800 results. The reason why you get more results usually is because a lot of times UPCs can be more than one ASIN. So it could be the multi-pack. So you might have one UPC, you might have the 3-pack version, the 6-pack version, the 12-pack version, all these things. So a lot of times you get many more results than there are UPCs, or than there are rows. Let's now start filtering. So what I want to do first is I want to filter out all the products that are unprofitable. So let's just go ahead and type in profit over here and look at only the products that have more than $3 or $4, let's say $4 in profit. So we want to only see products that have more than $4 profit. So we've got from 2,810, we're left with 585 products that have more than $4 in profit. Next, of course, we want to sell products that sell in high volume. So I'm going to go back over here to the filters. I'm going to say bought in the past month, bought in the last 30 days. Let's see products that sell more than 50 units. And I'll keep adding a few more filters. Now, of course, you don't want to put your account at risk. So any products that have any IP alerts, intellectual property alerts, we want to remove them completely. So I'm going to say anyone that has more, there are 3 levels of alerts, high, medium, and low. Anything that has more than low is going to be out. So I only want to see products with no alerts at all. It's also a good idea to not go up against Amazon, because Amazon can, like, if Amazon is in the buy box, they can drop the price, and they usually dominate it, and they don't want to, they don't share the buy box. So if you drop the price, they drop it with you, and they don't really share the buy box. So where it says buy box is Amazon, I'm going to say false. So we don't see any Amazon there. Let's go ahead and apply those filters. Oh, let's add one more. I'm going to avoid any hazmat products for this search. So hazmat is false as well. And let's just do that search. Okay, now we're down to 34 items. Now, how fast do we get to 34 items? 34 items that meet this real strong criteria. Now, what you are going to notice with Astro is you can apply the quantity pack to calculate automatically. But in this setting, we've let it all be 1 packs. So you're going to see some products that are going to be super profitable that really aren't. You have to apply the correct quantity. So for this one, for example, it's 1,860% ROI. Obviously, that's not real. So we want to go over to the product and see and add the correct quantity and see if it's actually going to be profitable. So this is a 24 pack, and we're costing it as $1.70 as if it was a 1 pack. So we want to write the correct quantity at 24. It probably won't be profitable anymore. So that's 9% profit, but there's a bit of profit in there. So we can look into this one a bit further. This one here is a 36 pack. So let's go ahead and type in 36. This one here is a 12 pack. This one here is another 12 pack. 12 pack. I'm just going to do this off camera. Just go through them nice and fast, and we'll be back in a moment. All right, great. So I applied all the packaging sizes, and everything's correct now. So let's reapply the filters and say reapply and see how many products we're left with. We've got 9 products. So 9 gems over here that we can actually buy and make some money on. So this one here, let's look at this. This is a 2-pack. Great. It sells 100 units a month. I'm looking that there is no Amazon selling it. That's awesome. Let's go ahead and open up the chart and see all the chart data. Okay, cool. So we're looking at the chart. Everything looks nice and clean. The buy box is all the way up here at the top. We see the break-even line right at the bottom, so much lower than the buy box. So there's been no instances where this product's been selling at a loss. Maybe just over here, it's been very close to the buy box, but that was many, many months ago. So I'm not too worried about that. We do see some people selling at $9.99 there, but it's still, for the most part, profitable. There's just a few days back in, which month was that? So there's a few months back last January where the product was selling at a slight, not a very, very slight loss. Actually, it was just a few days within the month, but for the rest of the year, it's been very profitable. So this one's super good. I'm looking at a breakdown of all the buy box sellers. So who's been in the buy box rotation. I see things are quite clear. There hasn't been like really one person dominating this. This company here, Boston Mart LLC, has gotten 16% of the buy box, but for the most part, it's very evenly spread out. So that's another good sign. Basically, with a product like this, when it's an FBM seller in the buy box, and there aren't too many FBA sellers. Let's go look at that again. There's only one FBA seller at $16.95. We could probably come in a bit higher than the FBM seller at $15.08. So if I was going to sell this product, I'd probably list it at around $16.50, and probably very high chance that I'm going to win the buy box. And there's a lot of profit in this one. I missed this one. This is actually a 2-pack. Let's go ahead and type in 2 right there. Okay, but it's still very profitable, 143% ROI. $4.93 worth of profit. Awesome. See that it sells 100 units a month. So if we were to buy, let's say, between 36 and 60, there's a bit of profit in this one. $177.48 worth of profit if 36 of these sold. So that's a nice one. Next, we have this 3-pack over here. Let's look at this one. No Amazon, of course. Awesome. There are 5 FBA offers and 6 FBM offers. The recommendation is to buy only 17. It has a bit of traffic on this one. We're accommodating for the fact that it's a 3-pack. We've written 3 over here. Great. Sales, about 100 a month. Not too many sales. $21.32. A lot of profit in this one. Another one, 200% ROI. Let's see how many we can potentially buy of this. Looking at the data here. Let's actually open up the chart. Let's see the chart. Okay, so the chart's nice and clean. Very few instances where the price has dropped a lot. This is another nice one. We see both again, one seller over here dominating. They got this guy here, Mr. Medical, with 31% of the buy box. When they're both FBA and FBM, it shows the same number. So it's not 31 plus 31, it's just 31 in this case. Mr. Medical's been winning 31% of the buy box because it goes by its name. They got a bit of a chunk, a nice chunk of the buy box, but it's still nothing to beat. If it starts getting a bit worrisome if they are winning more than 80% of the buy box. And let's just go by period. Let's go by 90 days. Let's see if it changed. No, it changed to 10%. It went even better. So that's fine. This one's just good. Now, in terms of the sales, there are three FBA. There are 4 FBA sellers. So that's something to think about. So there's quite a bit of competition. I'm seeing there's 5 buy box competition. Buy box competitors. 100 is the sales, and 17 is the recommendation. So I'd probably buy, because case sizes, probably buy around 18 units. 18 is a 3-pack, so that means you'd buy 18 times 3. I think they'll be okay. So let's say 18 units is going to net us $124 profit. So another nice one. Definitely going to buy this. All these are looking quite good. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab all these. I'm going to add them to a shortlist and see what type of order we can come up with. So I'm going to call the shortlist. PKW. And I'm just going to name it, give it the month name. So it's going to be November. I'm going to click on plus right there. And now we've added these to the shortlist. Let's go ahead. Let's go back to the shortlist. Choose how many units we're going to buy of each one, and then come up with a small order that we can get and send it off to our supplier. Okay, so we're in our shortlist. I remember we looked at this one here, that we said we can buy around 36 units. So let's go type in 36 over there. And we're gonna have an order starting to form at the top over here. So we have 36 units, but that's 72 supply units because it's a 2-pack, $100 worth of goods, and you can see all the data there that follows. The next one we said was this one here that we're gonna buy 18 of. So I'm gonna type in 18 right there. Great, and now the order's continuing to form at the top. Let's go and check these ones out. So we have zigzag rolling papers. Great. Just checking out the product here. All right, let's check out its chart. So one thing that we have here is the brand is a seller. So there's a notification over here. When you see that B, that means the brand is actually also a seller. So there's an alert there. Now, most of the times you want to avoid cases where the brand is also a seller, but sometimes it's okay. If you see a lot of other sellers also selling alongside the brand, it might not be a big issue. So these are the scenarios where it's kind of okay sometimes to sell alongside the brand. So looking at this one, when it comes to the monthly sales, 900 monthly sales, which is quite a bit, but there's a bit of competition here. There's one person definitely in the buy box, but I saw a bunch of other sellers that were close as well. So I wouldn't buy too many of these. I'd probably buy a max of around 120 units. But even that will net us quite a nice bit of profit. So 120 units, what's that? $1,000 in profit on this one. That's a lot. That's quite good. Next one, similar product, similar brand, same brand. So this one has 46% ROI. That's another nice one. Let's go ahead and check out all the sellers. So brand again is in the buy box. I see them there. The price is very, very stable, which normally you'd like that. But sometimes it's a bit scary when the price is too stable, because usually when FBA sellers come in, they tend to get the price going up and down a bit. So when it's this stable, it means that maybe the brand has kind of placed some restrictions on this product. So it kind of gives me an indicator that maybe we should probably avoid this specific one, just because it's too stable. It's a bit too stable. Usually you see a lot of buy box movement. As long as it's above your break even line, then it's okay. But when the price is too stable, it usually means that the brand's restricting a lot of other sellers and they kick them off. So I'm going to remove that specific one, even though it's the same brand as the previous one. The previous one had better data points, so I'm just going to remove this one. So the next one, let's go ahead and check this one out. So the brand's on it again. This is very similar to the previous one. I'm not going to buy this one. I think it's a bit of a risky one as well. So I'm going to remove that, delete that as well. Okay, magic shaving powder, cool. A lot of FBM sellers, I think it's okay to go up against FBM sellers. It's fine in my opinion. So there's the break-even line. So in the past, I see that it was selling at a loss over here. You can see that right there from this period to this period. You can see that the buy box was below the break-even line. Let's check it out a bit. So in this scenario, the price was just cheaper at $25.99. It was just cheap for a while. Now, if that period where it was cheap was close to our date, I would be a bit worried. I wouldn't really want to sell a product like that. But because it was, it was around 6 months ago, I'm not too worried, but I wouldn't go in too heavy when it comes to how many units I'm going to be buying. I'm not going to buy too many of a product like this. So for this one here, let's see the recommendation. So the recommendation is to buy 300 because we're going up against FBM sellers. I still wouldn't buy 300 of these. Even though we can price above them, I wouldn't buy 300. I'd probably max it out at around 120. So that's a lot of profit right there from one product. So 120 of these ones seems like a solid product. Make sure it's a 5-pack. We've got it set as a 5-pack. All the data's in there correctly. So this is our order so far. 294 ASIN units. In total, Supplier units are going to be ordering 846 because remember, some are multi-pack, so we're going to be ordering more. So as an ASIN unit, it's 1 unit, but if it's a 2-pack, that means we're buying 2 units of those. The goods so far at $4,700. The profits at $2,135. It's looking all right. Okay, let's check out this one. It's a pack of 12. Great. Let's check out the data. Okay, same seller selling this one as well, Mr. Medical. I see that the break-even line and the buy box line is nice. It hasn't really dipped below. It's been a bit close over here, but for the most part, it's okay. That's a nice product right there. Let's check out how many we can be buying. So there are 100 sales per month. The recommendation is to buy around 50. I'm going to go a bit less than that. I'm just going to buy around 36 of these. Still a nice product. $168 profit for the month. Not bad. So let's go get 36 of these. Next, we have another Zigzag one. Probably the brand is selling this product. Let's check it out. If the buy box line is too stable, I'm probably going to avoid it. You see that? It's been very stable, but there's some movement over here. So that gives me, I know it's not what you want. Like the best thing is for the price to be just stable. But if the brand's selling the product, or if there's only one FBA seller and the buy box has been that stable, it usually means that either the brand is kicking sellers off or the buy box seller is an exclusive seller for the brand and they're approved by the brand and they'll probably try to get you off the listing. So this gives me a bit, of comfort, to be honest, where I see this Zigzag over here. I feel that it's a decent product and you can probably jump into it. So looking at all the competition, I see that there are 3 competitors on this ASIN. So if we jump in, we'll be the 4th. Let's see how many we can realistically buy. So 300 is how many it sells per month. The recommendation is to buy 75. Let's just say we're going to buy 60 of these. So $561 profit from this one. That's another good one. So let's go and get order 60 of these. Now, last one, we've already done these 2. This one here, the last one is here. This bamboo big cigarette paper, paper 50 count. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and check out the chart data. So I see a few competitors here. I see a buy box that is going up and down. It's kind of trending down, but it's still okay to buy. It still looks like it's, there's a huge gap between the buy box and the break-even line. It's still a very solid product. I'm seeing the seller count over here has kind of gone up a bit. Still looks solid to me, in my opinion. Go ahead and check out some other data points. So we have 100 sales in the last month. The recommendation is to buy 20. 20 is the recommendation to buy. So, okay, let's go ahead and order 18 of these. All right, and we have our order. We're literally only 25 minutes into the video in terms of how long we've been doing the product research. And we've already found $7,000 worth of goods at $3,300 worth of profit. So this was a nice one. All I'm going to do right now is I'm going to download the data. I'm going to download it as a purchase order. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So this is what it looks like. Basically, I'm going to send this off to my supplier. It's got all the data they need. It's got the item number, the UPC, the supplier description, and it's got the quantity we're buying and the total cost of it. So I'm just going to grab this Excel spreadsheet, send it to my supplier, and then wait for them to get back to me to see what they're going to say. Then I'm going to go and check and see if I'm ungated for all these, make sure I can actually sell them. If I can sell them, great. I'm going to send them in and hopefully start selling these products and make this amount of profit. It's that simple. This was like a 25-minute introduction where I'm actually showing you stuff as well. Imagine if I was just going straight into the product research and not explaining things and doing all that. It probably would have done it in 15 minutes maybe. Very, very nice. And that's just one strategy. Those are the obvious choices. There are so many other strategies you can actually do when you're using Astro. There's a discount strategy where you target products that could that you can sell at a discount and make a lot of money. There's the slow mover strategy where you target products that sell in slow volume. They don't sell a lot, but they have very high profit. There's targeting FBM sellers only. There's targeting ASINs with no sellers. There's all these different strategies that you can use to really get the most out of a price list. And that's what you want to do. You want to get the most out of every single price list. Every time you call a supplier and get their price list, you want to extract as much value out of that price list and try to make as much money as you can from every single supplier. This is why I think wholesale is incredibly scalable. It's such a scalable business. Now, all I have to do is I have to buy the products, have them send it to my prep center. My prep center sends it to Amazon. That whole period takes around 5 to 7 days. It might take a week to inbound into Amazon. So in 2 weeks, I'm selling and I'm making money. Whereas if I was doing private label, for example, even if I started research just now, then it will take me about it might take a week, it might take a month to do the research to actually find a product to actually sell. Then I have to find someone to manufacture it. They might take a month to manufacture it. Then I have to, negotiate for the best pricing. It depends on how many I buy. I have to send the products to the US, which takes forever, can take very, very long. They get holed up in customs. There's so many things that can happen. And by the time I'm selling, it might be 2 months, 3 months later. And that's why it's important in wholesale. The cash conversion cycle is so much faster. If you can buy products that sell off within a month, instead of buying a month's worth, let's say you buy 2 weeks of products because you're finding so many products and they sell off, then you can convert your money. You can recycle your money 12 times a year maybe. Now, it's very hard to do 12 in a single year. More realistic is around 7 or 8, but still you get the picture. You can do this over and over again, and it's incredibly scalable. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. If you want to have access to me and other individuals who are selling and doing wholesale and killing it, join the Telegram group. We're talking every day. We're all explaining our situations, and we're seeing what the best way to make money on Amazon is and how we can actually help each other. So join that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.